Because when you start to make moves and changes towards the new you, you'll sometimes find that it's like life is doing everything it possibly can to get you to go backwards, when really what's happening is it's your old self, your old energy, your old frequency not wanting to go, and your new self, which you're trying to be or living in at the time, is giving the universe the message that you want to move forward and be something else. So the universe starts to test you. Your old self wants to come back, and that's why they're trying to drag you back into that energy, into that vibration, into that frequency. And when you know this, you can stop and be like, okay, well, what would the new person, the new me be right now? What would he do other than having natural peace? And then from there, it just goes away, or the situation goes away, or whatever. Situation stops. I've even quite a few times managed to look at myself and be like, oh, I would act like this, and just do the complete opposite. And that has such a big effect on life in general when you do that. And it can change things automatically, immediately. It's like that video where everything happens through you, not to you. It was like a message for everything. You can apply that to everything in your life, which I've been doing and have been doing for a long time. It's a long process for me, but it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. I was just stubborn. My eye was stubborn. My mind's very stubborn. I paid it a lot of attention. That's what happened. Yeah, it's like what's buried in the subconscious, what's buried in that part of the mind. How do we actually view ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror? How do we view ourselves when we think of ourselves? Because that version and that being that you are is being manifested. So even in the subconscious and subconscious, obviously, a lot of the time when you have things like that, it's been imprinted by suffering, the way you feel. You've had a certain amount of suffering, and then you go through these senses of eye and stuff, and it's like gets imprinted because of the suffering, the feelings create. There's a guy called Neuro, he talks about this. Neuro, I think I've said his name right, and he's on YouTube. I check his videos out, it's amazing. And he was talking about it, and he's so right with what he says about that. Program your subconscious mind. You need to go into yourself and visualize yourself and someone or something you love telling you over and over again, congratulating you for the things that you actually want in your life, but to picture them as a manifestation right now. So if it's like picture them in scenes and that they're thanking you, and then keep doing it, and eventually it's the insecurity disappears. And I've noticed this with what I'm doing, because it's very much faith tested. You don't get very many hits on your videos, you're not getting much traction, people, but for me, I don't really care. I just want to help people, and I know I'm helping people, even if it's only in a small amount of numbers. And I know that also it's like a snowball. If I drop a snowball down the mountain, eventually it gathers pace and picks up. And I know I'm God awareness, so what more could I need? Everything's going to come to me. That's just the way it is. And you build this faith, and you build upon this new you, and you start to be that more than you ever could be the other person. The other person now is more in the past, and the past itself doesn't exist unless you pay it attention. You can change right now, like that, in an instant, just by not looking at the past and looking towards the future, and observing and allowing things to come and go, and eventually they just slow down and stop. As I said before, it's so simple. Yeah, so just by spending time with yourself, just by working on yourself, observing yourself, you're going to start to eventually naturally start to love yourself and like yourself. But before that happens, you have to rumble what the mind is, rumble what is not you, the personality part of you that's not you, that's not serving you, that's not matching with the life and who you actually really are in life. And then once you rumble that, you observe it out of reality, observe it out of existence, if you like. Then your love and the self-love and who you really are starts to come through. Even if you can just see that maybe you're not quite there yet, but realistically you're perfect already, but you're just not acting like that, then you can just accept that, because it's growth, and growth makes you into the lioness or the lion that you are, as I've said in other videos and other quotes. It forms you. We're all being forged by modern society, and in one way it's an absolute curse, and in another way it's an absolute blessing, because it's so crazy that if you can find it here and find who you are here, it really is unwaverable and permanent. and something that just stays with you, because it's such a furnace here in a lot of ways, in such a crazy energetic place. Lots of movement, lots of this, lots of that energy, vibrational, negative, heavy, whatever you want to call it, around us. To find that inner serenity and peace and stillness and be able to come in and out and play when you want to is a gift. And that's who we are. And if you're not already there, who you can be. Yeah, it's like I said before, you must forget all these ideas and all these thoughts and all these perceptions of who we are, because most of them have been fabricated and made by the mind, and most of them are just experiential. They've only been based by experiences of the past and the feelings and suffering of the past, and that shapes who we are. And realistically, they only come from the perception that was given to us by society and our parents. We've been programmed by all of it to think a certain way, which isn't true. You can tell it's not true, because if it was true, then the whole of life would be totally harmonious, and it wouldn't be like the way it is now, which is complete chaos. I mean, it's supposed to be like that for a reason, but it's returning to something else, and it's going to be something else. And the reason that is because people are going to be returning to who they are inside, and that has an effect on the outside world. So imagine when 60% of the population become peaceful and realise who they are and how much they can control the outside world with the inside world, how quickly that everything's going to change. Even 10, 15, 20%. Imagine how much the other people are going to be able to feel that, how much everything's going to change, how much those people are going to be able to help the other people just through the way they are, and through being.